I did not expect the reaction that we got, from everyone based on the physique that we presented. So that was a pleasant surprise. It's just still settling in. Like you said, it went from this is about to happen to, okay, did that just happen? And now it's like, yeah, it did happen. The Olympia and every contest that I've done and that, I will do in the future, it's all contributing to that final physique. I'm starting to experience some success, and people are starting to take to the fact that, hey, this guy's different. I'm getting the best reaction and positive feedback from the fans of bodybuilding based on my own vision. At the end of the day, I'm responsible for what my physique ultimately looks like. I am responsible for how I look at my own efforts. And so we just keep on, keeping on with the same techniques, and we'll get to that final physique that we're trying to get. So after the Olympia, I received the email, formal invite to the Arnold. So that's what a lot of people, I think, are unfamiliar with when it comes to the Arnold Classic. It's invitational only. So the IFBB or the Arnold Committee, I believe they are the ones that actually select the athletes, and we're picked on our international ranking. So you'll see some athletes will want to compete in the Arnold. I mean, we all do. So I was blessed and fortunate enough to get the invite. But there are some things I think we all, maybe stipulations that we have to, participate in a pro show, maybe even win a pro show. But I have come to kind of believe that it's based on your international ranking. And so they send out the application, and then of course you have to apply, and you'll get the yes or no if you're in, and then they released the list, and I saw that I was in, and I mean, I couldn't have been more excited, because I planned on actually doing the Arnold before I ever stepped on an Olympia stage. Like I said, it's invite only, so it's kind of like our all-star game. We get selected, and so you can't really have a bigger honor than being picked to do such a prestigious show as the Arnold Classic. Well, honestly, this will be my first Arnold. So this will be the first time I've gone to the expo, I've gone to the show, so I'm not really sure what to expect. It's cool because it was a similar thing at the Olympia. I had been to the Olympia contest, but I had never obviously competed in the Olympia. I didn't have a chance to, participate in the events and stuff like that leading up to press conference and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to it, and meeting all the different fans because of the people that weren't able to come out to the Olympia for whatever reason. Now people are able to come out and expect to see a great show. It's a great lineup of great athletes. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. The 10th place finish was amazing. Of course, I wanted higher, but like I said, you have to appreciate the journey or the chase or whatever it is that you're doing in life. For me, it just happened to be bodybuilding. And for all of us athletes that do this sport, even athletes that play other sports, basketball, football, baseball, anyone that may have an off season, they can relate to the fact to this. When you're in off season, quote unquote, that motivation is going to be a little bit different because you don't have a game scheduled, you may not have a show picked, you may not have anything going on. So that's when you're going to rely on your discipline to get up and do what you need to do. In bodybuilding, and with me having this 10th place finish, that just meant for me that I wasn't as good as I could be and as good as I was on track to be somewhere down the line in the future. I remember after winning the California Pro that next morning, of course I was happy about it, but then there was a moment where I was like, okay, what's next? Because I had not, I wasn't sure if I was doing Olympia yet. So my mind was kind of in a place like, okay, we've worked so hard for this goal that we just reached. So what do? Do we kind of, we take it down a notch? Do we go into a rest mode? So when I say you have to have something to chase, when I decided I was going to do the Olympia, that motivation was kicked right back up again. Not that I was not motivated, but now I had another goal in mind. I had to go and present an even better physique at the Olympia. So that's one of the best things about bodybuilding, because you never have an off season. Like you have to improve in that off season. So then when prep comes around, you're going to present an improved physique. So you have to, in life, period, when you have something that you're chasing, that's usually what gets people out of bed in the morning. Some people, they want to be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Some people, whatever their goal is, when they get up and they go to work, they want to move up a notch. They want to get better. They want to make more money. Maybe they just want to make more money for another car or a nicer house or whatever. Whatever it is, that's something that they're chasing, no matter how big or small the goal is. So for me, like I said, it's bodybuilding, and as long as I'm doing this sport, I'll always have something to chase. And on the plus side of that, even when I'm done and I'm retired, I'll still want to be healthy and improve my physique, and I'll still want to lift weights, because that's how this all started for me. I used to get up in the morning and I would just look forward to training. So a bigger, better physique was something that I was always chasing. And that is what got me up out of bed every morning. So that's something that I use and I will continue to use as my motivation to do something to better myself every day. Because if you're always chasing something, then you're always trying to improve, and you just can't forget. You lose that motivation. It may come up and down. Sometimes it's a little bit higher power than normal, but there will be those times where you're like, man, what am I doing? Everyone has those moments. And so you just have to lock in on that one thing and remind yourself, oh, this is what I'm doing that for. And then you get up and you get going and you do your job.
So now we're here at LA Fitness, where I do training. Most of my training probably about 3-4 times a week at minimum. It's a little break away from my normal gym where I train at, where I actually work. It's come and get a little different environment. So today we're gonna train a little bit of shoulders, some arms, some fun stuff. Everyone loves the showy parts. So that's what we're gonna get after today. 7 weeks out from Olympia. Olympia. Correction. See, I'm already thinking ahead. Sorry. That's just me talking about the future. We're pretty excited, so everything's good. Weights is actually just a tad up from the Olympia stage weight. I'm pretty sure no one can probably guess what my current weight is now, but we're definitely improved. So like I said, today we're just gonna have some shoulders and arms, some fun stuff. Follow the workout, give it a try, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think.
There are no days off. There's no overtraining. You got to give it 100%. There's days when I'm tired, but that's just part of the course. You have to get up and you have to give it 100%, because the worst thing you could do is to dial back now, even if you felt you've done enough work, and then to get to the finish line only to find out that you didn't train hard enough. There's always that regret when you didn't give it all you could. So with this sport, when you get that close, 7 weeks for me is actually 5 weeks, because my coach requires me to be ready 2 weeks out, because then this way we're just kind of tweaking things here and there. There's no rush to hurry up and get in shape. So we've been doing the cardio, we've been doing fasted in the morning, and we've been doing the cardio after the last meal. And like I said, it wears you out, but there's no days off. And I get up, I do cardio on leg days, and then I get up the next day and then I go train 100% as much as my body will let me. And like I said, I'm tired, but once I step in that gym and it's time to take care of business, the tired stuff just goes out the window. There's no room for that. There's no room for weakness. There's no room for errors when you're this close. It's roughly 49 days till showtime. That's not a lot of time. So I got to get to work. So now that arms, they've always been a strong point for me. So now what I do is I kind of sculpt them. So I don't really go into the gym to try to get them bigger. A lot of people on my social media, they saw that my arms are measuring 23 inches. Pretty funny. Not long ago.
You should see right here. So you can see, now you can see the outline of the tricep. But before, it was obstructed because we had the tattoo that was all right here. And so I'm showing my arm out, imagine on stage that's what you can see it roll in and out. So now that it's not there, and then versus the other side,
Same thing. Only it's hard to see because you have this big section here. You can see the tricep here, but it's just hard to see with the ink. So that's why I said earlier, it's a conscious decision on my part for just a more polished physique. And even without extending or locking my arm out, you can see the definition of the tricep, just because that ink is gone.
So now it's just one of those deals where I just want to sculpt the muscle. So I don't go in trying to lift all that I can like I did when I was trying to build them up and get bigger arms. So now I just want them more shapely, more definition in the triceps, more separation in the biceps. So that's my approach to training arms now. I won't train them as intensely as the other muscle groups, but I still do train them because it's one of my strengths. And just because I have body parts that I feel need to catch up, that doesn't mean I can dial back on where I'm strong at. Because if it's a strength now, it'll be a strength on stage. So I just have to make sure to put in work overtime on the parts where I feel like I'm weaker at. So it's just a balancing is all it is once you develop a certain strength. And all of us athletes have them. There's a body part where like, yeah, I'm pretty good there. I need to balance it out like this. So then you just have to approach your training different when you're training that particular muscle group as opposed to the rest. So now bodybuilding, it was just a sport that I participated in, which it still is, and it's my love. I love it. But it has allowed me to reach a ton of people everywhere. And what it gives me an opportunity to do, and it not only just talk about my experiences in the sport and stuff like that, it's something that everyone can relate to because everyone is a bodybuilder when they go into the gym. So I have other interests as well, it's cars and just different things that I like to do that are, what normal, quote unquote, normal people would do. Cars. That's my one weakness, and candy, that is. But a lot of you guys have seen the Z01. I've posted it a few times. I don't post it too often. This Z01 is really special to me because it's my first GM platform. I previously owned the SRT. I was a Mopar guy. I love those cars, don't get me wrong, and I could have sworn I would never ever go to another platform. I could have sworn the Hemi was the best thing ever invented. There was nothing better until one day I was on my way to work and this was sitting outside on the car lot. And anyone who knows cars, these GM, these LS motors, are no joke. So it was completely bone stock when I got it. It hadn't had any modifications to it. Everything was as is. You guys can kind of see on the inside, I haven't changed anything. Probably exploring, maybe doing something with the seats or whatnot. I'm not sure. For me right now, I'm too busy doing all the fun stuff that's under the hood. So we've done some modifications. And a lot of guys who know the Z01, it already comes supercharged. So that was one headache I didn't have to worry about, trying to put a big blower on top. So that's the heartbeat of this beast, 6.2 liter. And that is the factory supercharger that's on top. So a lot of you guys, wondering what was going to be my next upgrade. Well, I'm exploring a bigger blower. Magnuson has a heartbeat supercharger that I'm really thinking about going with. It's been proven it's done some really great things. For right now, for you guys who know cars and stuff, we've done the JLT cold air intake. We've done a bigger intercooler. So if you kind of look through the grill right here, you can see that aftermarket intercooler. We needed that to try to put up with all the heat so that we're putting out now. We're only running about 11 pounds, 12 pounds of boost, nothing crazy. 1300 cc injectors, the big Gates belt, that's going to be the strongest belt, because it's got to be able to pull. We did the lower crank pulley, so that's that big one down there. All my car guys, y'all know. And then, so we did the upper pulley as well. That's why this one looks different from the rest. Did headers, cam, heads, full load right now. And we actually did a analog fuel pump. So that's what all this wiring is right here. So for guys that are familiar with GM platform, they're probably thinking, what the hell is that? Well, we needed that fuel pump so we can, when the car was making upwards close to the 800 horses, the fuel pressure was actually dropping. So we weren't getting enough fuel pumped in, and we knew we weren't at the end of the injectors because we had bigger injectors. So we ultimately ended up having to add that on. So this way, once the car hit a certain RPM, then that would kick on and it would dump the fuel. That leads to the next problem, which is why this cannot be an everyday driver. And if you're a bodybuilder, you know that you need to save every penny you can for food. But that's just a little background on my passion. I love video games, but my biggest thing is cars. And right now, this is my baby. It probably won't be going anywhere anytime soon because, like I said, I'd forever be getting a new car. I forever always went for what's bigger and faster. So we're making the upgrades, just like my physique. Takes time. We're building it one piece at a time. And by the time it's all said and done, this monster here it'll be king of the streets. So probably by the time I win Olympia championship, I don't know, I'll do something special and I'll make sure to share it with you guys. But that's my love right there. So I have a chance to collaborate with other athletes that have a huge social following, or they've, had different business ventures and stuff like that. But now bodybuilding has actually allowed me to pair up with different people, and now I'm able to make a life out of something that originally just started to be me building my physique. So it's actually something I'm building my life with bodybuilding. So it's kind of like life building at the same time. So with the guys that I'm competing against, these guys that are more experienced, have more time in the gym than I have, actually bodybuilding, because like I said, I've been lifting for a long time, but actually bodybuilding, it's just been a short amount of time, so I'm still learning. But the guys that I'm going up against, they have, all this experience. They have time on their side, time that they've put into the gym, whereas I'm still growing. So for me, I have to identify, well, how can I beat these guys? And that's identifying where I feel like my physique is weaker at, where I could be stronger at. And then that's where I have to put in overtime in the gym, because we're in a game where I'm playing catch up. I mean, that's essentially what it is for me. Is I come into this sport, just a couple years ago, I was turning pro, and I just, competed at the Olympia stage with guys that have been doing this for 10, 15 plus years. So you line that up against my 5 years, and it's like, man, it's a big gap to fill. So when I'm saying that they have time, that's what I'm referring to. And that just means that I have to work twice as hard to try to catch up, to where they are. Because when I compare my physique against theirs, because they're all great athletes, and I see their strong points, then I'm like, okay, I have to improve here. And, so that's my mile marker, looking at some of those guys, because I respect what all of them have done. But at the same time, I'm here, and I'm here to win a title. So I just have to be mindful that I have time. They've been in it longer, but with me being newer, that means that I still have time to grow in the sport. So I can't rush it, and that's what a lot of people, have said. Oh, you should, you'll blow up like Ronnie. You should do this. You should do that. It's not that easy. If it was that easy, trust me, all of us would just blow up and get huge. But I'm an artist of my physique, so I have to take my time. You can't rush a work of art. I mean, you have to take your time and make sure it's completed the way you want it to be completed.
It's going to be a good show. Definitely looking up to move up in placing from the 10th place that we had at the Olympia. So I told you guys I was going to be improved, and I hope you're keeping up with the social media, Labrada Nutrition. My page, Patrick T. Moore, will kind of keep you posted as to when this stuff is rolling out. But like I said, make sure you guys stay on top of your nutrition, stay on top of your training. Make sure you let me know what you like with your car stuff, because I'm a car guy, and I hope you guys enjoyed that as well. And until next time, we'll see you guys later on this road to the Arnold Classic 2020. We're out.